Dollar. Dirt on money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yep, let's get original crew, man. We're back. Got a Mr. Ballen for y'all today. It is a request of Mr. Ballen, so shout out to you for requesting this video. We always ask y'all, hey, spam us up in the comment section. Let us know what we should react to next. Some of y'all do. Some of y'all always wonder why we don't do certain things. Yep. And it's because y'all don't hit us up in the comments letting us know. We see. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It might not come around when you want to, but it always comes when it's right on time.
Hey. Are you singing the song? Are you?
Stop. It's late and you acting crazy.
I was singing.
You acting crazy tonight. Oh, but we have someone in this story is a psychopath. Someone in these comments is a psychopath. Someone's watching this video right now is a psychopath.
Keep going. Keep going, mister.
Oh. So, with that being said, man, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go if you want to first support. All you have to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals.
Lock it in with a thumbs up.
But most definitely go check out the links in the description box. Go over there to that Patreon, man. We've been uploading so consistently over there. So much content has been dropping for us to be able to react to give to y'all. And it's those exclusive reactions that won't just make it to YouTube, man. Yeah. It just won't. We're turning over a new leaf. So a lot of stuff that we enjoy, we used to enjoy doing, that we're just not going to post on YouTube. Anything that comes back copyright blocked or anything, that will go over there on Patreon. Even content that y'all request us to do, and if it does come back copyrighted, if it's blocked, it's going up over there on the Patreon. So y'all go show some love and support. But with that being said, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what this one's about you. Let's go. Let's get into Ballen, man.
One person in this story is revealed to be a complete and total psychopath at the end. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you've come to the right place, because that's all we do, and we upload 3 or 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please offer to babysit the Like Button's kids and give them candy and soda, and then send them home with whistles and whoopee cushions. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. All right, let's get into today's stories. In 2008, 28-year-old Chris Smith was an up-and-coming star in the lead generation business. Lead generation is not a flashy business. Basically, you create these ads that are designed to generically help people with things like lowering their mortgage payments or reducing their credit card debt. And in these ads, you leave behind a 1-800 number for anybody interested to call. And the people that do call, their information is taken down, and then the lead generator, the person who made that ad, they sell that information to mortgage brokers and debt consolidators and anybody else that wants access to that lead. Chris's ability to create these really compelling ads and get people to call said number was so good that it caught the attention of another up-and-comer in the lead generation space, a man by the name of Ed Shin. Ed worked for a lead generation company called LG Tech in Southern California, and Ed wound up hiring Chris to come onto their team as a consultant. Right away, Chris and Ed totally hit it off, despite being very different people. Chris was a surfer bro who wore flip-flops and t-shirts every day and never went to college. Ed was a very sharply dressed, college-educated father of 3 who went to church every Sunday. But where they overlapped was their shared desire to become fabulously wealthy. After working together for a little while at LG Tech and doing quite well for themselves, they realized they could actually make a lot more money if they left LG Tech and formed their own lead generation business. And so in early 2009, they did just that. They left LG Tech and they formed a new company called 800 Exchange. And right away, it took off, generating millions and millions of dollars in revenue, 80% of which was profit. During this incredible time, Chris used some of...
Hey, 80% profit? Yo! That's what I'm trying to I couldn't work in a company like that though, because knowing like the morality of it, I don't like the morality of those type of companies. So that's the reason why I never like working for companies like that. That's the reason why even in like customer service sales jobs I used to have to do, well, customer service, if they ever pitched a you don't get none. Yeah. But like customer service jobs I had to do, like in retail, if they ever told us like, hey, you have to pitch the credit card. Yeah, I used to always be like,
Yeah, I used to
hey,
like that, yeah.
I'm not pitching a credit card. If they ask for it, then I'll go. But if to further than that, I'm not gonna be like, well, your credit card sales are low. I don't give a damn.
Of his money to buy a brand new Range Rover and a beautiful condo in Laguna Beach, and he fell in love with this beautiful ballet dancer named Erica. By and large, Chris seemed to be putting his roots down and really building a life for himself. As for Ed, despite his squeaky clean outward appearance as being this all-star family man and father, he was using his cash to party and gamble in Las Vegas. When Ed was at LG Tech, he would regularly go to Las Vegas to generate business. And while he was there, he developed a gambling addiction. When he and Chris formed 800 Exchange, Ed continued to go to Las Vegas to drum up business. It was something he was good at. But when he and Chris started making money hand over fist, his gambling addiction grew tenfold and he went completely off the rails. Ed was spending so much money in Las Vegas, sometimes up to 6 figures an hour, that one of the main casinos there would fly him in their private jet out to Las Vegas and they would put him in their very best suite, fully comped. It's unclear how aware Chris was of Ed's crazy spending habits because Chris rarely went to Las Vegas with Ed. The men were living their respective dreams until October of that year when Ed was charged with embezzlement. Their former employer, LG Tech, had alleged that Ed had siphoned off about $2.5 million from their business to fund his wild Las Vegas lifestyle.
Kind of similar to the situation that you was involved. Well, not you was involved in, but you was involved in.
You better make a clip for the people.
You wasn't involved in an embezzlement.
I was working at a company.
But you were working at a company
that was doing some stuff on
very
that level. Similar to that.
Very, very similar. Not as far as gambling,
Not
but
the gap.
stealing money
Not-
to
not the
fund other stuff stealing money from a corporation and
To
clientele
to fund other businesses or a lifestyle.
Oh, they did lifestyle. They did do life. So very much so. And you saw it firsthand how like the craziness behind it.
Ed told Chris these allegations were totally false, but Chris was shaken. He was worried that if he didn't do something about this, Ed could potentially embezzle money from 800 Exchange. And so Chris went out and got a lawyer to begin protecting himself from his business partner. Over the following few months, Ed and Chris attempted to run 800 Exchange before Ed's trial date, but it was just too difficult because the trust had been totally destroyed by these allegations. And in May of 2010, Ed was convicted of felony embezzlement. In order to avoid jail time, Ed had taken a deal that meant he would need to pay roughly $800,000 of restitution to LG Tech. But Ed did not have $800,000. The only way he could make this payment would be if 800 Exchange, the business, fronted the money. But in order to do that, he would need Chris to sign off that he was okay with that because he owned half of the business. When Ed approached Chris said, "No, I'm not signing that. I'm worried you're going to take advantage of me too." But after a couple of weeks of talking to his lawyer, Chris finally told Ed that he was ready to meet up with him and come to some sort of agreement. And so on June 4th, the two men met up at the 800 Exchange office, and Chris decided to just sell his portion of the business to Ed for about $1 million, and then Ed can do whatever he needs to do with the business account to pay down his debts. Despite how crazy this situation was, Chris actually felt like this was kind of a win for him. He got a $1 million payday, and now he wanted to go out and celebrate. And so a couple of days after this meeting with Ed, Chris emails his family and says he's going to go on a 3-week vacation to South America and just go surfing the whole time. He's chartered this 45-foot yacht. He's hired a captain. He's hired a cook. It's going to be this dream vacation. He also regretted to inform them that he had broken it off with his girlfriend, Erica, but he had a new girlfriend who'd be coming with him on this vacation, and she was a former Playboy playmate named Tiffany. His family was really surprised to hear the news about Erica because they really believed they were going to get married. But the trip itself was not really out of character. Chris had always said for the longest time that once he made it big and had millions of dollars in cash, he would just sail off into the Pacific and go surfing and just be off the grid and live his life in peace. And now he finally had a chance to do that. And so his family...
But $1 million ain't that damn much. Because after you pay the taxes on that, because even though you made a sale, you still have to pay taxes on that. And so after all that...
I was looking at the year.
Still,
I was trying to look at
still then and still.
But I guess it was enough for him because he still has.
That trip is lavish.
He still has like money.
But that's still a lavish ass trip.
But I'm saying he still has like, I'm pretty sure like other money. He's, you know.
But you ain't came into that much money.
Yeah, but I guess he was like, okay, this is enough like play money for me to go ahead and do what I need to do or what I've been wanting to do.
I hear you.
Yeah,
I don't think that's enough to do all this. And then you just up and.
Yeah, I feel you.
Erica gone. Just
Where
out
does
the blue.
Tiffany come from?
Tiffany just popped
That's
up.
a little weird. That
and
she
you finna go take her on a lavish vacation?
She ain't going with me. I don't know her like that.
Why you say it like that?
I'm just saying.
Oh, man.
Family said, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you when you get back. But 3 weeks went by, and Chris did not return to his condo. Instead, he emailed his family again and just told them he was having this great time, that this was the best trip he could have asked for, and that instead of coming home, he was just going to keep sailing around the world and enjoying this time that he is disconnected from society. And again, his family said, okay, have a good time, stay safe, and we'll see you when we see you. But
Chris is dead. Chris dead.
So I can't trust people.
So Ed and killed Chris. Or am I reaching?
I mean, hey.
Am I possibly reaching too soon?
Look, I'm about to
But
reach
I'm getting a lot of red flags.
Yeah.
I'm getting too many red flags. Are we sending any photos? Because this is the time period you can send photos of what
like,
you're doing.
Hey, I'm enjoying. Yeah.
Like, just social media is starting up. Like, you got camera phones and stuff nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, then, you can show people what you're doing beyond, and then only thing, email, right? Not even text message.
Just email, yeah.
No, that's too. Email is just too red flag. Nah, because you would, or even send me a postcard or something.
And again, his family said, okay, have a good time, stay safe, and we'll see you when we see you. But over the following weeks and months that Chris extended this vacation, his emails took a dark turn. Chris started to act depressed, and he alluded to taking drugs. And then at one point, he talked about doing the unthinkable, referencing harming himself. His parents were very concerned and told him he should come back home, or at the very least, they should arrange to meet up somewhere. But every time they said this, Chris would just suddenly change the tone of his email and seem really upbeat and cheerful and said, oh no, I'm actually just fine and I just need some time to myself. Finally, in December of 2010, so 6 months after Chris has gone on this vacation, he reaches out to his brother Paul and asks him if he'll come to Costa Rica the following February to go surfing with him. Paul was excited and said he would go, and he and the rest of his family breathed a collective sigh of relief that now one of their family members would get to see Chris and actually check in on him. Shortly after this email exchange, Chris told his family that he was headed off into the Congo to sell some gold coins to a trader who was prepared to buy them at a 30% markup, and Chris was really excited about it. After this, there were no more emails. The family was concerned that this gold buyer potentially had kidnapped or hurt Chris, but Chris was going long periods of time between his emails to family, and so they figured, you know what, Paul's trip to Costa Rica where he's going to meet up with Chris is coming right up, so let's hold off doing anything drastic until then. But when February of 2011 rolled around and it was time for Paul to fly out to Costa Rica to meet up with Chris, before Paul left, he called the hotel in Costa Rica to confirm the reservations Chris had supposedly made. And the hotel said, we've never heard of Chris Smith. There are no reservations under his name. And so Paul tried to contact Chris, but to no avail. And so Paul told his family about it, and they decided it was best for Paul not to go to Costa Rica because probably Chris wasn't there. And the family instead got in touch with the State Department and asked them if they could help them find their son, their brother. And right away, the State Department discovered Chris's passport had never left the United States. And his family said that was impossible because for the past year, Chris has been sailing around the world.
No, he hasn't.
He hasn't.
He's never. That's just common sense that we all know he hasn't. Like, I don't know why Ed doing like, bro, shit can be tracked. You work for a tech, you own a tech company, bro. Well, it's just selling leads, but it's
Still.
technically not tech. But
But,
you
yeah.
should know enough information where they can even track that information. You should have. Let's go.
Got in
Sorry.
touch with the State Department and asked them if they could help them find their son, their brother. And right away, the State Department discovered Chris's passport had never left the United States. And his family said that was impossible because for the past year, Chris has been sailing around the world. But the State Department said, this is what we got. So Chris's dad, who used to be a cop, drove out to California to speak to Ed, who was the last person to see Chris before he left on this vacation. And Ed would say he has no idea where Chris is. However, he did say Chris had a fake passport, and that might be why his passport was not showing up as leaving the country. Chris's father didn't really know what to make of this information, and so he decided it would be best to just file a missing person report and put the investigation in the hands of the police. Shortly after the report was filed, the police brought Ed in for questioning, and Ed reiterated that he didn't know where Chris was and that he did have this fake passport. And he also said that they had not ended on good terms. They were kind of fighting and bickering at the end, and that's why he hadn't heard from Chris since he left. Ed was cooperative and didn't really have much to give police, and so the police let him go. While the police hit dead end after dead end in this missing person case, the property manager of the office building where the 800 Exchange business had been located was growing increasingly frustrated. Shortly after Chris had sold his portion of the business to Ed and then gone on this vacation, Ed had moved 800 Exchange from that office building to another, and Ed had not paid his final rent, which was $40,000. And this property manager had repeatedly tried to get in touch with Ed, but Ed was totally blowing him off. One day, the property manager was griping about Ed and his delinquent payment to another tenant in the office building, a guy by the name of Joe DeLue, who just happened to be a private investigator. And during this discussion, the manager was saying that not only had Ed not made this payment, but he had also been recently questioned by police about his missing business partner who was still missing. And so Joe is immediately intrigued by this, and he says to the manager, you know, it sounds like Ed is a pretty shady guy. Would it be possible for me to just poke my head around their old space now that it's vacant? Because you never know, there could be something in there. And so the manager said that was fine. He opened the door to the old 800 Exchange space. Joe walked inside and immediately found blood spatter on the door frame of where Chris's office used to be. He also found blood spatter on the ceiling and on the walls. And so Joe called the police, who showed up and sprayed luminol all over Chris's office, and there was blood everywhere. It would turn out Chris didn't sell his portion of the business to Ed. On that day, June 4th, 2010, Chris did go into the office to try to reach some agreement with Ed, but when he walked in, Ed promptly killed him with a knife or some other blunt object. Then he, or someone he hired, dumped Chris's body somewhere. After that, Ed stole all of Chris's money to pay off the debt to LG Tech, as well as some other large debts in Las Vegas. And then after that, Ed hijacked Chris's email accounts and pretended to be Chris for almost an entire year. Chris never took a boating trip around the world. He never broke up with Erica and had this new girlfriend from Playboy. He just got killed inside of his office, and Ed created this ridiculous, elaborate lie that was designed to make his family believe that Chris had become unstable and that maybe he did end his own life, or maybe he did get kidnapped or killed in the Congo. Ed was just trying to create that seed of doubt that he had anything to do with it. But in 2018, it all came crashing down for Ed when a jury convicted him of killing Chris and sentenced him to life in prison without the possibility of parole. To this day, Ed maintains his innocence, and to this day, Ed still will not give up where Chris's body is. So that's going to do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's episode, let us know in the comments what it is.
That is so.
That's
they don't
crazy.
even have that.
They don't even have his body.
Yeah, well, not like saying yeah like that, but yeah, like I kind of figured that part when he kind of said that they dumped his body somewhere,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, they don't have a body. They never.
I mean, I heard that, but then I just always, have hope.
Yeah.
This wishful thinking that,
Yeah.
That's sad.
That's sad.
That is
sad.
entirely sad. You still won't say nothing. You still talking about you innocent.
Because 2018.
When you took his life cold blood.
But the fact that you didn't get convicted until 8 years later, you went a whole year. You could have, like, a year is enough time to like really move money around, hide things, and cover your tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even with the blood, I'm finna tell you, like, literally, he really could have got away with that. He just really was trying. He was stupid anyway. What he could have done, fully, well, I ain't finna. Because the way my mind be going, he could have scrubbed the wall down to, you know what I'm saying, out the paint. Like, actually wash it first, scrub it down, sand off the paint, and then went in there and repainted the no blood.
Or maybe
No
you could have
traces of
just
blood.
not took his life because of your downfall. Because
True.
you got gambling problems. Because you
I
got
agree.
money issues. Because that ain't got nothing to do with me.
And
You
I
should
wonder
take my life.
And I wonder would Chris have even went in business with him if he knew that he had all of those addictions.
No.
Because those was very
No
scary.
one in their right mind that's in business is going to do that. When I know, that's just red flag after red flag.
True.
Like, just
True.
no. Especially like you said earlier, with me like witnessing this stuff firsthand. No way. No way.
Oh yeah, because that got messy too. And I wondered if they even still got the business even with that situation. Because that got messy to the point where, like, can that even still operate? You get what I mean?
Yeah, I know at one point they
basically in business like they thought they
wasn't able to, like,
work.
Yeah, like, damn.
Operate.
Yeah. I forgot.
You ain't got to look it up right now.
Nah, now you got me thinking. I want to know.
But I kind of knew
Ed,
Ed was, as soon as you said anything about debt, money, conviction, he was like, it really came across like he was trapped into a back corner.
Yeah.
And he didn't know what to do. He really didn't know which way to turn. He just was trying to somehow, and honestly, even common sense, you don't even have the $800,000 to give to them. Why would you even be able to buy a company for $1 million if you don't have $800,000? Because my thing is, if you got $1 million to buy him out of the company, right? You got the $800,000 just to give them. Then you could have just worked. The company would have ended up getting your money back from the company because the company is thriving to the point y'all are profiting 80%. 80% profit is exceptionally well for any company.
Facts.
That is a lot of profit.
You could have paid them off and worked whatever you had to do to pay off whatever other debts you had.
Facts.
Because obviously, he had other debts in other places.
But to say that you had $1 million to buy him out, that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, he told you no again when you asked him to basically borrow the money from the company.
Yeah.
He told you no. You killed him.
Man.
You couldn't take no, you can't take no loan now for no $800,000.
No.
That's just too much money, man. Only way you could have took that, like, borrowed it any type of way, was to borrow it from your business. That's the only way. Or sell out. Why didn't you try to sell? Why he should have tried to sell his part of the business?
He should have tried to sell his part.
That would have made more sense, but
when you ain't thinking like that, and it's just kind of like you trying to find any way out, greed, whatever it is.
Facts. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know. That's sad though.
Facts, man. Y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts about it for us in the comment section down below. But as always, what?
No, I'm saying, no, I was just thinking, even the landlord person, they didn't go in the building for a whole year. Like the building not occupied by anyone else?
It probably not occupied because it still had an outstanding balance, or
so it's just like they were the only ones in there. It wasn't like a building with multiple.
no, because the Joe DeLoe.
He was at No, he was at the same building. He was a tenant in the same building as well. I thought he was a tenant at
No, because he went to the landlord because he was the because he overheard him talking about Ed still owing him money. So because they had the same landlord, overheard the conversation, asked the landlord, hey, because he's a private eye, let me go check it out. And so he went into it because he already has a relationship with that landlord because he rents from the same landlord.
Right. Right.
Ed was in
Ed was in a new building.
Yeah.
Right, that's all I'm saying. I'm saying so the building that Ed and Chris was in at one point, they were the only ones that occupied it. That's all I was asking. They was the only ones that occupied it because the reason why I asked that is because blood was on the wall outside his door, his office door. So I'm like, no one else ever occupied this building.
So it's probably very much so similar to a building like you had.
And that's what I was saying. I'm wondering is it something like
where you
that,
got multiple different companies in one main building, but multiple different companies. But their space, I guess he never ended up re-renting it back out.
Yeah, and it was just vacant area.
But why is it vacant for a whole year? Which is true. Because that's why I thought you was asking as well. Why is it vacant for a whole year? If you really need, unless it's probably like how your building was, an older building, and not as far as a lot of companies probably not for $40,000. That's a lot though.
Yeah,
that's
but anyway,
a lot on rent, man.
That's how I was just like, dang, no one ever went in that part.
Because you would, unless he wiped it down real good. But if you don't know what to look for, because the blood, it was dropping, but not like all red blood. They had to do the infrared light I don't know if it's infrared. They had to spray to get it to show, and then use the black light.
Yeah, but initially when the PI went, he
probably did something like that too though. Yeah. It wasn't like visible. I doubt it was visible blood.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
He probably know what to look
like
for.
No one ever, yeah. But okay.
But like I said, he should have washed it real good.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't have took his life.
I
know what you're saying. We ain't helping nobody. We ain't doing that.
How to get away with a murder?
I ain't doing that. You shouldn't be taking nobody's life for your. No.
I'm trying to be Annalise around this mother.
Well,
see,
let Annalise be Annalise.
I can't be her name. Ain't Annalise. What is it? Anime.
Miss Keaton.
No, her mama said her name was.
I know. I'm saying her last name. Just come on, let's wrap the video
up. But y'all spam us up in the comments, man. Let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. But as always, I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Nicole.
We are,
y'all.
Ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack of flip for my folks. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar.